Okay, here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time with Tristana AD Carry. And if you look at the title, which I assume probably gave you guys a bit of a double take, this will be with a Twisted Fate support, and I'll go into more detail about that in a second. So first things first, I want to know where Gnar starts, because that determines where I start, but Gnar versus Pantheon, Zed versus Riven. I'm Tristana, partner with Twisted Fate against Twitch and Lulu. And we have Nasus top against Jax. So I am recording this post-commentary, and I will tell you the Jax and Riven actually do swap. So it's Jax mid, Riven top. And there's just a lot of weird crap going on in this game. If you're worried about the support Twisted Fate, the way the whole thing works is that he can pick a card, the gold card for a stun, that's a CC, and it has a 1-to-1 AD ratio, if I remember correctly, so Twisted Fate's probably as close to an AD support as we can get. Of course, the drawback of this is that the pick card has his normal attack range, which is something like 500. So he has to get in really close, which is not a good idea against Twitch and Lulu, since both of them have slows, and he's going to be paying for it with his life for quite a bit. But anyway, the reason why I picked Tristana in this matchup is because I just don't trust my team. So the whole reason, well, my thought process was I need someone who can actually get the hell out when things go bad, which is where the rocket jump comes into play. Other good choices for this could have been Lucian, although the 500 attack range wouldn't be that good. I'd be right next to Twisted Fate when he's getting himself killed. Graves, Severe could work, even she does have the same attack range. We have the Ricochet and the Spell Shield to guard you. I'm trying to think of who else has a dash right now, or some sort of jump. Corki, Lucian, well, Vayne has Condemn, so I'd put her in the group. But the Twisted Fate is going to complicate things a bit. So this is where the lag starts to return to form compared to how it's actually been pretty good for like 2 weeks now. Anyway, I go ahead and take the E early so I could do the explosive shot since it's pretty nasty at level 1. And if you notice, Twitch is level 2. He went ahead and did the golems to get the level 2. I don't know if he actually got jungler help for that since Lulu was with us. I imagine he probably did, and we could be at a bit of a disadvantage, and Twisted Fate should not be playing this aggressively since he does have level 2. But Twisted Fate's going to be doing a ton of questionable things this game, and you'll see that my strategy is just let him die, farm up, take it late. Anyway, let's go over how Tristana works as I try to last hit through the various lag spikes and just the explosive shot. So your Q is draw a bead. Whenever you level up, you gain 9 range for your E, ult, and auto attack. I don't remember what Tristana's base is. I think it's 550 maybe. So when you reach level 18, you actually have the longest attack range in the game without a modifier. The person that does have the longest with a modifier is Twitch, so hyper carry versus hyper carry. Your Q is rapid fire, I think. It's basically a free to use attack speed steroid. It gives you something like, I don't actually know since they changed it after the whole nerfing thing, so it used to be a 90% attack speed steroid. It's probably considerably weaker at this point. So here goes Twisted Fate. He went down sooner than I expected, but he was playing like crap anyway. So, picking up where I left off, your W is Rocket Jump. It has a pretty long cooldown on its own. It allows you to reposition yourself. It resets on kill. I go ahead and use it here because I can't get too close. They can zone me off the minions. There's not much I can do with or without my support here because the Twisted Fate is not very good. And to make things worse, the Gnar is not going to be ganking for us. Right here I just took a quick look to see where he was, and yeah, I don't have anyone to count on here, so ultra passive play, wait till the enemy is wailing on my team and try to poke them down from a distance. As for the Gnar, I think he is going to be going full tank. I don't remember how Zed goes, and then Nasus doesn't actually build a Sheen item. He actually builds Essence Reaver, so don't be surprised when you see him start to feed. But for the Twisted Fate, you can see he has a bottle, no wards. For this to work, you have to max your W, and I think he is actually running AD stuff because, like I said, it's a 1-to-1 AD ratio. And right here I'm trying to ping him that you're going to get yourself killed, and, well, since they don't have resets, I'm safe by extension. If that were Jinx, then we'd have some real problems. But the Lulu is a good pick into Tristana. I don't remember which one was picked first. The Grievous Wounds do offset healing, but the thing that they don't actually offset are shields, and picks actually last quite a while. I don't know if that's the longest lasting shield or what, but the explosive shot is worthwhile if I can get it part way through the shield or near the end so that the whole, well, less damage is mitigated as a result. And we are starting to push them back, but I have Buster Shot to thank for that more than anything else. Or not Buster Shot, Explosive Shot to thank for that more than anything else. As for your E, that is Explosive Shot. It has the passive effect of whenever you last hit something, it explodes, dealing damage to everything around it. The active effect is you inflict a damage over time debuff that will also inflict Grievous Wound to reduce enemy healing capability. Just like all of Tristana's moves, this has an AP ratio, so you don't get anything for building AD off of it. And, I think that's pretty much it. It has some pretty good numbers early on, but since you're not building AP, it's going to get kind of weak kind of quick. Finally, your ult is Buster Shot, which is the other reason why I want Tristana here. Basically, it's a disengage tool. It's a nuke that has a 1-to-1 AP ratio. You hit an enemy, you deal 300 flat damage, and you knock the enemy back some distance. So it will allow me to get away from a whimsy thing. And right here for Twisted Fate, I don't know if he knows, but if you don't see Twitch, assume he's next to you and play accordingly. Like right there, had he been there, this is what would have happened. So I have to rocket jump to safety once again. And like I said, the guy's playing like crap. Not really much I can do there. But I don't think I go back just yet. Or do I? Yo, yeah, I don't have the potions. So I go ahead and get the Bilgewater Cutlass for more lifesteal. Twitch went straight into the BF sword. I kind of wanted one myself, but it's on my list of things to get next trip back. So I have the Cutlass and the boots. And the main reason why I want the Cutlass is just for the slow that comes with it, because I do have a Whimsy to worry about. That's just a surge in movement speed. So the Cutlass will give me a little bit more to try to escape, and I could try to help Twisted Fate, but he's a lost cause. So yeah, unless I'm actually trying to record a game specifically with one of those characters who have an escape, whenever I do show one as AD carry, that's just due to a complete lack of faith in my team, which is why we're here. And while it may be boring to watch, I think this is actually kind of important to showcase. In a solo environment, there are times where you simply can't rely on your team. And sadly, Ashe, Varus, Misfortune, and a few others are pretty support sensitive. Depending on what support they have, that will make or break them. Of course, Ashe and Varus do have CC on their ults. It's just, do you really want to use your ult in certain circumstances? Because there could be a team fight in the near future before your move comes off cooldown once again. You can see right here, Twisted Fate is pushing the lane with his Q. He is trying to poke, it's a bad idea because they have the 2 kills, the BF sword. If we try to fight them, we automatically lose. So right there, that's pretty much my rule of thumb. If you don't see Twitch, Assume he's next to you. I escape, and they don't get anything this time, but they do get some damage off on Twisted Fate. So you can see that the Riven is raging pretty hard, but I'm assuming Gnar and Nasus are probably a pre-made, so that's how those types of things usually play out. And I also find it kind of funny that a Riven is crying about anything. Considering that character has no mana, next to no cooldowns as you level up, not to mention every single move is an AD ratio, including a freaking shield. No, Riven's balanced. But right there, the Pix was used, so I can poke Twitch if he actually comes out. And I'll show you right here. So sadly, Twisted Fate ignited Twitch, so he gets the kill instead of me, and he's actually going to steal a lot of kills from me over the course of the game. Normally I'd say that it's okay for the support to get the kill, Sysgold, it's good, denying the enemy EXP and stuff. The thing is, Twisted Fate does have a Frost Queen, or a Spell Thief, I don't remember which one he has at the moment, but that's where his supporting ends. He does not build a Sightstone. His definition of vision is, hey, I can reveal everyone on the map for 5 seconds every 2 minutes. Who needs a Sightstone? Which is stupid. And I don't know why exactly, but I think he actually is building AP. Since he's not going to be clearing the wave with his Q, if he's going to really be relying on his pick a card, he'd actually be better off going for AD and attack speed and on hit effects. So, yeah. Twisted Fate support can work, it's just this guy doesn't have the damnedest clue on how to do it, and he picked it into a pretty poor choice of lane, since I'm pretty sure both Lulu and Twitch do outrange him. And with their slows, they can kite him. So right there, Zed and Jax traded. You could argue that the Jax came out ahead since that's going to get him closer to his late game build, but Zed also got a kill, so he has more assassination potential. You can argue either way for which one of those came out on top. But I went ahead and picked up the tier 2 boots for more attack speed, and basically just so I could run the hell out of a fight, because I don't trust my team. So right there, Twisted Fate unleashed his pick-a-cards. Wasn't as detrimental this time, but there are times where it's going to cost me quite a few CS. Like this one. So right there I clicked on him to actually see his gold item. I kind of wanted to look at it and see if he's actually able to get any gold out of it at all, because if you kill a minion, that thing goes on cooldown for 20 seconds. And as a result, he can't actually generate gold from that. And right there, the Whimsy came out. We don't see Twitch, so assume he's next to you. And lo and behold, he was trying to close in. And once I started to fall back, he had no choice but to fall back himself. As for Twisted Fate's cards, the blue card actually does the most damage, followed by the red and then the gold. So the red card is actually nice for kiting, does the minimum or moderate amount of damage. Blue card is your poke card, and the gold one is your stun. So if he really just wanted to spell spam, he could have built mana regen somewhere. It's just tons of questionable things are going to be going on in this game. So right there we got the crud, what's the ult called? Wild Growth. And I should outrange Twitch by this point if he does not have his ult up. So right there I popped the heal trying to get the movement speed to get Twisted Fate in here, but exhaust came down anyway, so it's kind of a waste. So I flash out of it, and I used the Buster Shot on Jax. Pantheon hops in, and I just decide to take off. Not really much I can do here, and jungler is basically avoiding the lane, which is something I anticipated, which is once again why I picked Trist. Sadly, I don't actually have enough to get the BF sword, so I go ahead and pick up a single dagger and just sit on the rest of the money I have so I can get the BF sword on my next back. If you're wondering why I want that more than Blade of the Ruined King, it's just that I don't have the assassination potential Twitch does, so I don't benefit as much from immediately getting it. Plus, the extra AD is going to come in handy for trying to last hit on her tower, which I'm probably going to be doing, well, I'm anticipating doing a lot of. But as for this, while the minions are here, I have a few seconds to try to clear this using my explosive shot. And you can see that I do have to do a little bit of tanking, I think, but with the lifesteal from the Cutlass, it's not really a problem. I did miss the siege minion, sadly, which is one of the things I'm going to have problems with once we actually start doing the dragon fight, since the dragon does interfere, well, it messes with the amount of damage you do, so you may deal more or less at certain times. You can see right there I dodged the cask by moving closer to Twitch, and then I used the rocket jump as the Whimsy came out, so their little ambush didn't amount to anything. And here's where I think they're actually going to start doing the proper zoning, since Twisted Fate decided to stop feeding my lane and go somewhere else. And right here we're going to lose Nasus. He got kind of close there, but not quite enough.
An enemy has been slain.
And I don't have the range to shoot over the minions just yet. I could probably use an extra level or two in order to do that. So the creep block will be a bit of an issue.
Ready? Aim.
Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
So this would be the time for the enemy to go ahead and do dragon, but luckily they just didn't take advantage of that. That's probably one of the few things that actually keeps us in this game.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Kind of ironic that they have a Pantheon and they ignore it, but yeah, go figure. And I warned the team that since they're completely neglecting the bottom lane, there's actually absolutely nothing stopping Twitch and Lulu from taking the inner turret as well. It's just they choose not to for one reason or another. And I just need to play passively. If the Twitch were actually good at last hitting, this probably would have been over already. It's just, he's making some mistakes and I need to stay relevant, try to keep myself in the game. If he actually were last hitting, I probably would have went for a Blade of Avarice on that back instead of just going with the 1400 gold. So I'd be closer to the BF sword. Blade of Avarice I'd be sitting on for a long time to try to make up for the lack of, well, the CS loss that I'm getting from Twisted Fate just screwing around. But there's no one here at the moment, so I want to try to hit these, and I think this is one of those parts where I don't get a single CS. So I got the one.
An enemy has been slain.
Yep.
An ally
So the problem I had here is that the minions do power up over time, and I don't have the items to actually relevantly compete with them. They don't get armor anymore, but they just get raw health, and that's why the AD is all the more important. But I do have enough for the BF sword, I can go back and get that, and sadly that will not be going away, and it will become an issue when I get the dragons and my damage actually changes. But someone pinged the dragon, which my team gave to them on a silver platter, so there's not much we can do here. Good news is, with Twitch and Lulu down here, I don't think the enemy actually went ahead and took it. But they could have easily had dragon control, like I was saying earlier. Gnar paid no attention to the bot lane, Twisted Fate fed. He could have done this solo pretty safely. The only problem would have been maybe the Zed, but I don't think Zed would have actually roamed down there. So this is the first time you see the jungler on screen with me. And poor Riven. So I used the E and the ult to kill her. As for Jax, he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he eats a Gnar. So I lay into Pantheon, I lay into Lulu, and while I do the rocket jump, I don't actually have the vision to continue damaging Twitch to delay his stealth, and he just walks away. So we had our first favorable team fight. I went from being 0-0-1 to 1-0-0-3. 2 assists, 1 kill picked up, and we can go ahead and take the dragon. Now we did lose Gnar in that fight, so we don't have the smite. This is where Nasus using his Q would come in handy, but he doesn't have a Sheen, and... well, let's count how many times I have to last the dragon. That's number 1. I don't know if he wanted to try to farm the CS or he just wants EXP, but with all the jungler attention he got, there was no way in hell I was going to share the CS. So with the dragon buff and just my BF sword, I'm able to last hit a little bit better and able to push that in, and I really don't want any part of this. Twisted Fate is going to get himself killed, and I already know it, so I just don't want to waste time. I can go ahead and complete the Blade of the Ruined King, and you can see Twisted Fate going down right now.
Rampage.
So you have the Pantheon stun to offset the gold card, Twitch and Lulu slows, and I saw that coming.
Let's get in range.
Right here is where I'm telling him, hey, if you had a Sightstone, you could have avoided the Tri-Brush, the river, and maybe lived. But what do I know? So we're trying to compete for the 20 gold from that one creep. Sadly, Pantheon, being closer than me, does get it. It's also possible the damage over time thing from his jungle item could have got it for him. As for this, Pantheon is he just showed at the blue buff. We don't have vision on the enemy team, so I'm waiting right here, thinking this could be a trap. But luckily I do have Rocket Jump and Buster Shot. I also have the slow from the Blade of the Ruined King. It's just I don't have my heal, and you can see another siege minion missed. So I go ahead and push that out, but I now have vision of Twitch at the chicken camp, or the wraiths, however you wish to think of them still. And that means I'm able to pick up one more wave. Right now I'm not too much of a nuisance, but once I have my I think it's rapid fire max, while I also have a zeal item, I can do a number on a turret within a few seconds. But right here we have Eyes of Pantheon on top lane. He just died to Gnar. And I'm not too afraid of Twitch solo because I can Buster Shot him away, if worse come to worse, Rocket Jump. Him alone is not too much of a problem, it's just if he has support. After all, I can't really do too much damage if I'm turned into whatever the hell Lulu turns things into. But I can go ahead and pick up the frog camp here because there's no Gnar around, and like I said, if he doesn't care to pay attention to bottom, I have to do whatever I can to stay relevant. And by taking that, that gives me enough gold to go ahead and pick up the pickaxe. So I still want to go ahead and pick up the Infinity Edge. It's just... well, it's kind of a mess. Twitch and Vayne usually want to get a Zeal after the Blade of the Ruined King, but I have an attack speed steroid, a pretty sizable one, so I kind of want damage to take advantage of that. Without the Infinity Edge, it's not like I actually get anything out of the crit from the Zeal until I actually do have the IE. So right there you have a bit of a chicken and egg thing going on of, do I want the Zeal first or do I want the IE? And right here I don't want to leave Twisted Fate over here because, yeah. You can see that he did cost me 1 CS there by forcing me to go on the back line. It's possible that the CS could have survived a little while, but it shouldn't be his job to push the lane. I have the explosive shot, so I'm going to push it on my own. Plus, just stupid crap done by him. That's all I can say. So we make a move on Jax, and I think he does kill me. Or no, he just runs away. So we escort him out of the jungle, and he takes off. I could Buster Shot onto him, but that's one of the things that he actually needs in order to get the kill on me. So right there, you can see him leaving down that side. And we do have Zed to help us. Okay, Twisted Fate is going to engage him at the cost of his life. Or no, Twisted Fate just got the crap kicked out of him. So right there, I just wanted to keep track of the dragon timer. I no, I'm not going to be getting much help in trying to keep control over that, but it's one of the things that we kind of need to win this game. The movement speed is going to be immense for dealing with Jax and Riven. So right there I went ahead and did the rocket jump to get away, and right here is where you can see one of the things that I say Riven is so broken for. Resourceless, with next to no cooldowns, and she has more gap closers than any other character in the game, with a total of, you could say, 4. 3 uses of her Q, her E, and then whatever summoner spell she has. Not Riot's balance team. So I do show up here to try to help Gnar. Twisted Fate is getting the crap kicked out of him by Lulu and Riven, and we do lose vision right here, so I have to rocket jump in here to keep eye on her. And once again, Twisted Fate gets the kill. Right here I'm able to slow Lulu, but we get the flash, luckily, so she does whimsy away, but we come out slightly ahead. And Gnar goes ahead and steals a couple CS from me, which he totally does not deserve. And I think I have enough for the IE now. But the dragon is coming up. We do have the jungler down here, but well, you'll see how this plays out. So, tying into the whole point about me not trusting my team, I want to get this crab down because that's going to be part of my escape plan. I won't have the buster shot immediately, but I'll have the movement speed to tie into a rocket jump and potentially get to safety. Anyway, dragon is here, my escape route is secured, and I offer to tank this pretty much because Gnar is low health. I do have the lifesteal from Blade of the Room King, and here is Jax. So I buster shot him away so that his counter strike can't do anything, and I have to kill him and the dragon. And Gnar does get the kill on Twitch. It's not really the end of the world, but getting the shutdown on him would have been kind of nice. Doesn't really amount to anything in the end, it's just would have allowed me to go back and pick up some extra items when I finally do go back. Anyway, the second dragon. I don't know how exactly this interacts with Tristana because it's going to negatively impact my last hitting here. So you get the 15% increased damage to minions and monsters. So that not only ties into your auto attack, but it also ties into the explosive shot on your E, which makes last hitting even trickier. And I'm definitely going to be having problems for a little while last hitting, trying to get used to all of this extra damage. So you could argue Tristana is twice as effective with the dragon buff just for that one reason. And right there I didn't actually pay attention to the minimap to see that it was Twisted Fate coming my way, so when he showed up on my screen I started to back off. I think I may need to rocket jump away. And I don't really want to deal with Jax. The two of us are kind of a mess in terms of fighting. I have disengaged with my buster shot, he has engaged with his leap strike. I also have the rocket jump to try to reposition again, and it's kind of a dance between the two of us on me being able to keep him a certain distance away but within a certain range while he needs to actually get to me.
An ally has been slain.
So Nessus goes ahead and dies. Let's see, he's got... oh, he does have the Trinity Force. Okay, it might have been a different game with Nasus where he didn't build a Sheen item until the very end of the game, but well, it's a slight relief on my part. Yeah, this is where Jax kills me since Twisted Fate horribly overshoots his ult. So I used the buster shot right there, but he didn't use the leap strike, and I don't have a way to get away from him without flash or heal. So Twisted Fate is going to get the kill here. It's just losing me in the process to give Twisted Fate yet another kill is not a good exchange by any means. So I now have the Zeal for the attack speed, and it's also going to give me more crit movement speed. And alone, that's not going to be enough to deal with Jax, since he has the Trinity Force, which gives him a bigger surge in movement speed, not to mention the melee characters tend to have more movement speed than the ranged ones by default. So that's where the whole third dragon buff is going to come into play.
Let's get in range.
An enemy has been slain.
Riven goes down, and where is this taking place at? Looks like by the enemy blue buff. And the talking is still going on. You can see that I muted the Riven already. I don't know what it is with pre-season 5. Kind of hoping that the good, respectable players actually are on vacation or something. It's going to get better because I'm really fed up.
I wanna shoot something.
Get to clear those away pretty easily. Once again, the explosive shot does synergize with the dragon buff, so that's one of the instances where it's actually a good thing. As for this, I don't really want to share my CS. The stat could have helped Nasus maybe, but right here, Jack stuns me, and I used the E on Pantheon if you didn't notice. And right there, the damage over time killed him. And this time I actually got to keep Jax at a respectable range, and Twisted Fate, once again, steals the kill.
Look at the pretty explosion.
But that's pretty much how the whole Jax thing plays out. I have to keep him within a certain zone. If he can get out of that zone, he's going to come out ahead. And in the case of Pantheon, he just has to watch his dots. So we can make a play for the inhibitor turret here. Only thing is, we don't have eyes on the enemy, and this is one of those times where I'm keeping an eye out. If Twitch shows up, we can kill him. But if he has reinforcements, like say a Spartan, then things become a little bit more complicated.
Wanna see the fireworks?
So I try to signal TF, don't bother, you're just going to get yourself killed yet again. And luckily this time he listens. So I could go back and pick up the components for the Last Whisper. Looks like I'm going straight to the Frog Camp. Last Whisper itself was 2,300. I have enough for the pickaxe and the longsword. It's just the recipe cost that I need. And luckily that is a good chunk of gold to put me closer, and it does give me level 16 for more knockback on my ult. I think it's only like a 100 damage increase, but it's the knockback that scales with the rank of the move.
I wanna shoot something.
And right here, he does jump on me, but I just rocket jump away. I don't really have much incentive to fight him while my summoner spells are down. Gnar is able to kind of slow him down, but he can leap strike to a ward, and that's pretty much the end of it. Twisted Fate once again messes up his ult. Well, one thing I can say about this game is, how often do you get to say a Twisted Fate can't land his ult? And when you realize how sad that is, you'll realize I anticipated this with the Tristana pick.
Ally has been slain.
So, Nasus goes down, and the dragon is coming up shortly. Gnar goes ahead and picks up Twitch and Pantheon, and the whole matchup becomes a lot more tolerable once I have this movement speed to help manage that zone with Jax. So I can't really fault the Gnar here for not being here since he was part of the team fight. It's just, this is huge for us. If the enemy gets that, it's going to help get them closer back into being into the game. And you can see that it's going to help us with the Riven a little bit. It's just, there's no reason a character should have that much mobility. That's resourceless, and has jokes for cooldowns. But I do have enough for the Last Whisper now, so I can go ahead and pick up that whole thing once I go back. It's just I want to push this into the tower in the off chance we can get some extra damage on the inhibitor turret just in case. Once again, we have the complete lack of vision thanks to our support, and I have to back out early. So I don't remember what I was looking for on that look at the status screen, but potion, Last Whisper, and the Last Whisper is going to help with Jax. It's going to help offset his ultimate to a certain degree, where he turns AD into armor. Plus it's going to give me a little bit of extra AD, so the duels are going to be a lot closer now, even without trying to stall out his ult. And right here I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to clear this turret, but if you look, Gnar is charging right into the enemy team.
Let's get in range.
So right here, you get to see him charge into a 1v3, and fortunately for him, I was right here. So dead Spartan, dead Riven, Zed picks off the Twitch, and ultimately Gnar does go down. It's just we got to pick up their solo laners there for our jungler. Sad part is with their jungler up, it's not like we can go do Baron, plus that does rely on me counting on my team not to mess that up. So I just get to go ahead and last hit a bit, try to push us into the inhibitor turret, and maybe we can go ahead and get a little lucky here. So I actually did not burn anything in that fight, and I don't want Twisted Fate to steal this one, so I go ahead and flash. And we can just sit here and wail on this turret. Sadly, I don't have the level 4 dragon buff, and here is Pantheon. With the reset I got from Jax, I can go ahead and just hop off. I disengage right there to try to save Twisted Fate, and you can see that he has no interest in being saved. Then going into the whole not wanting to die thing, that brings me out here to the Scuttle Crab. It's an extra amount of gold, and it's also going to give us some vision, which we're not getting from our support, and down goes Twisted Fate. So Zed and Riven also die, and I'd like to say I didn't see that coming, but it was freaking obvious. So we're now past the 2/3 point, and my suffering is starting to come to an end. And right here I realize I'm probably not going to need the potions, I'm just going to stick to the fringes of the fight. Not really expecting much out of anyone, and Gnar, right here he does get Twitch if I remember. It does cost him pretty much everything he has, but he gets him. So rat stomping for the win. And we picked up a turret. It was the top lane one? Yeah, it's the only one left. Unfortunately, the death timers aren't really working in our favor at the moment, so I can't go on the inhibitor turret. Instead, I decided to look around and see if I can steal some jungle creep. I need to keep farming because ultimately I do want to finish the Phantom Dancer, and then I want a Randuin's Omen as my defensive item. The Riven and Jax and Twitch and Pantheon, all AD stuff, so I don't need the MR of some of the other items. The Banshee Veil would be kind of nice since Jax, Riven, and Pantheon all do have stuns. It's just those stuns are short to melee range, so as long as I can keep my distance, we'll be safe. So right there I'm notifying the team that Pantheon was bot. I did serve as enough distraction for them to go ahead and get the Baron. And this is where we actually want to try to siege now. We have the cannon in place there to attack the turret from range, and if the enemy team tries to engage on us, we can just beat them down. Right there I kind of wanted to go back for the Phantom Dancer, but it's fight time, guys. Probably what you've been waiting for most of this game. There's the Grand Skyfall. I go ahead and hop out of it. I do eat the polymorph, but Gnar knocks Pantheon aside, and this is where it gets really ugly for them. So Zed and I burn down Jax. Riven, she eats a few crits. Zed goes ahead and secures her. And I'm able to pick up the Spartan myself, but it's Twisted Fate that picks off the rat. As for Lulu, Nasus can have that one, I don't really care. And right there's the surrender vote. So, thoughts and observations go in the description, but I have a feeling you know what I'm going to say. I'm the Hero of Light, thanks for watching, and goodbye.